just light, up bright and early today. Didn't even need the alarm clock. I went to bed last night and I thought, I fancy doing some fishing in the morning before I get on with the rest of the day. I didn't have a sleepless night, keep waking up and looking at the clock. I just woke up naturally, about 6:15. Downstairs, cup of tea, load the car. Not that there's much to put in the boot with the minimal amount of gear I've got, and then make my way down to one of the local canal sections. I cast out, as you can no doubt tell, I'm watching the rod top while I talk. I have mentioned this particular setup recently. It's something I gave it a go. It's a small rod, it's a spinning rod, and I decided to fish with this because in situations such as I'm on now, it's perfect, because I wouldn't be able to handle a 12-foot rod where I am. It's quite tight. I want to be back from the water's edge, but not 12 feet back, a little bit closer, so I can just hang maybe 3 inches of the rod tip over, because I'm fishing directly underneath where I am. The canal is very, very clear at the moment. You can see right the way to the bottom. Not that I'm peering in, of course, I'm well back, but if I was, you'd probably see some dark shapes. However, once those dark shapes have seen you, they'll be off. It's about keeping it quiet and low key. I've put some brown crumb and maggots out, so the attractor is there. I'm fishing a couple of red maggots on the hook, and the waiting game begins. Hopefully not too much of a wait though, because it's a short session today, just 1 hour, and then I'll be back home and getting on with the other things that I have to today. But I'll be back with a fish. The rod tip goes, just a gentle bounce, and it's a small perch. Beautiful though, aren't they? I do like them. And as I've said on many occasions, and you no doubt know if you watch my videos, they are my favourite species. You'll also know that on my website I record the water temperature readings I've been doing for a while now. I tend to do that once we hit the autumn and the winter. And what was really interesting when I got here and I put the thermometer in is that the water temperature is up slightly, only 0.8 of a degree, but that will have more of an effect, shall we say, on the fish than it would do on us this side of the water. And when I caught that perch, it had taken the hook just into the mouth, not deep hook, but I did need the disgorger. The others that I've been catching have all been right in the edge of the mouth there, because they haven't been as active in terms of wolfing the bait down. And that's an indication that the temperature's up. They've become a little bit more energetic. They've seen the food and they've gone on to it. So that's why, or one of the reasons why water temperature is so important. It helps you to determine what's going on beneath the surface, and especially in the context as I'm talking now about feeding, because if you put too much out feed, you can't get it back. If you put a small amount out when you get there, and then you find that the fish are active, you've got them there, they're feeding well, you can always increase it. Just little tips really, little pointers, and all part of that I've been talking a lot about recently, all part of that big category called watercraft. The second perch, slightly bigger, and due to the experiences of the first one I struck earlier, just a split second or a second or two as the rod started to move, instead of letting it develop, I was able to strike, and I didn't need the disgorger. Nice enough perch though. I'm certainly happy with fish of that calibre. I know it's obvious if you are an experienced fisherman. However, if you are a beginner, you may not have really thought about it, but when you return a fish, don't put it back where you caught it from. Especially today, I'm in this tight little spot where I've got a shoulder fish out there. The last thing I want to do is to return that perch back directly to where it came from. Move a few yards or so down the bank and return it there, because fish that are returned will spook the shoal. This will be my last cast now. I've had a small perch and they all came at the beginning of the session, and then it's gone very quiet indeed. I've had a few very, very slight plucks, but nothing concrete developing at all. It's about the feeding spell, isn't it? And of course you can catch outside of those periods of time when the fish are feeding, but if you want to put yourself in the driving seat, then the feeding spells are crucial. And with perch, early morning, late evening, dawn and dusk, those are the two key ones that would generally be recognised on whatever venue that you're fishing. Of course, different places have a specific feel to them. Sometimes perch come on the feed at lunchtime, maybe in the winter. Things can be very different. That's why you need to get to know your water. Anyway, I'll be pulling in for the final time in a moment or two. If you are out fishing yourself, as I usually say, tight lines, stay safe, and I'll see you soon.